What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here. We're live for Monday evening quarterback, and we're here on a Chicago Bears victory Monday. 10 wins for Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and the Chicago Bears. Look, I'm not saying that we're at our best. I'm not saying this team is perfect. I'm not saying that. But I think we're officially at the good stage. We're striving towards that better stage right now. And eventually, I have believed in the next couple of years, this team will be the best. Good, better, best. That's what I think. Beardo, how are you feeling today?
I don't care. I watched football yesterday, and I had a good time. That's about it. A lot of injuries yesterday, though. Bad injuries.
A lot of high-profile injuries.
Yeah.
You know, Patrick Mahomes, obviously, tearing his ACL as the Chiefs get eliminated from the playoffs. Just absolutely brutal. Micah Parsons tearing his ACL for the Green Bay Packers, who just gave up a fuck ton to get him. And now it looks like that could drastically affect this team's outcome. But even things like
Devontae Adams, hamstring.
Devontae Adams, that looked like a bad hamstring pull.
Puka got a little banged up. And there was the one dude who was the player for the Cardinals that got he was strapped to a stretcher. They put him on a flatboard and tied him down.
Was that Michael Carter?
I don't know who it was.
Running back?
Couldn't tell you.
I think it might be, yeah. It's like their fucking fifth running back this year. Yes, indeed.
Be okay though.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Will, coming off, this is the first time you've been on in like 11 weeks where the Patriots have lost. How you feeling?
We'll get into that game. I'm not feeling too bad about that game. Surprisingly, I agree with Stephon Diggs, but somehow, some way in our picks, I picked some really horrible picks yesterday and still had a pretty good record. So I'm okay with it. But I'm doing good.
All right. You and me should be tied for the week. And I believe I'm still 3 up on you for the year. So it all comes down to these last couple weeks, which is crazy. It's going to be tight. Our trophy at the end, it's going to be a tight competition here. We'll see. But when it comes to your Patriots, I think that if you were to say at the beginning of the day, hey, you guys are going to lose a close game to the Bills, you'd probably be like, all right, whatever. It's probably a different feeling when you're up 21-0 or whatever that was, because dude, it felt like you guys are about to steamroll this Bills team. And I don't know why this is what the Bills continue to do. Get down so much that you need Josh Allen to go superhero mode. He can't do that. He can't answer that call every fucking time. But it worked out for him.
Yeah, it was frustrating that they blew a big lead. It was really fun and impressive that they got out to a big lead against a rival like that. But at the end of the day, I'm fine. It didn't make me feel good that I had Beardo and a bunch of my other friends texting me at halftime that the Patriots might be an actual Super Bowl contender and they look good and people are starting to believe. That didn't make me feel good. But the Patriots, first half, they started doing some things that everyone's been asking them to do all season. Why don't we have Drake May run some scripted runs instead of just scramble? Why don't we, all these other things, which they did, and then they got away from in the second half. And in that second half, you can't go 3 and out with Josh Allen. You just can't. He's probably the best since, I don't know, Favre, like the best like cold weather quarterback. I don't know. I mean, he's good out in those snow games, and May just didn't step up. I'm okay with it. I feel like the team needed a loss like this. I feel really confident when we play. We're going to play them again in the playoffs, I have a feeling. And the big picture is people don't still forget that we are missing our starting left tackle and left guard, who will be back for the playoffs. And we still ran 240 yards on this Bills defense. So good loss. I think a good humbling loss. We need to beat the Ravens this week. Even if we don't, if we beat the Jets and the Dolphins, we will break the tiebreaker with the Bills and still win the division. Won't get the 1 seed. That's fine. But I thought it was a was a good loss, a much needed loss.
I think you really need to blame Dave Portnoy. He's the curse. Chad's saying Beardo curse. There was no Beardo curse in that Patriots Bills game yesterday. Portnoy opened up his stupid fucking mouth in about the second or third quarter yesterday for all of Twitter to make fun of him and him for he got community noted. What a bum that guy is. He's the blame.
Not you.
Not me this time.
I had one of my best friends who's a diehard Bills fan shit and talking to me, telling me, listen, your team, hate to break it to you, your team's just not that good outside of quarterback. And I'm like, we aren't supposed to be here. You're supposed to roll over us. All right. So I don't even want to hear about it. Your team's the one that should be in trouble, having to come back week after week, talk about all you have as quarterback. That's all you guys really have. So I feel good where we're at. We're ahead of schedule.
Yeah. You know who else is ahead of schedule? The Chicago fucking Bears. That's who else is ahead of schedule. And look, they could lose out the rest of the games this year and miss the playoffs at 10-7 or even 11-6. They can miss the playoffs, and I will obviously be very sad. However, keeping everything in perspective, where I thought this team would be in the first year of the Ben Johnson era, they have far surpassed my expectations. And on a cold day at Soldier Field, one of the coldest games on record that the Bears have ever played at Soldier Field, the Bears came to play, and thank God they played against the Browns and Shedeur Sanders. My favorite part about this entire thing is how terrible Shedeur Sanders looked. The 3 interceptions. One was certainly a great play by Jalen Johnson on a ball that could have been better placed, but a great play nonetheless by Jalen Johnson. The other ones were just terrible plays by Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders looked like a bum. I'm sad the Bears backed off on their defense a little bit at the end of this game, and Shedeur actually got a couple, got 70 yards in garbage time basically at the end of this thing. But what a fucking bum he is. The Bears, I won't quite say like all three phases played very well, but defense played really well. Offense played really well. Special teams, missed field goal, couple okay returns, but I think as close to a complete game as we've seen from the Bears, and they needed this against an inferior opponent. They needed to dominate, and to do it in the cold weather like that, I think was perfect. Caleb Williams with some fucking dimes. Caleb looked sharp in terms of throwing from the pocket. And of course, a couple rollouts. The one pass to DJ Moore that was an insane throw to make. And
that
somehow
the one across the body, touchdown in between two defenders?
Bro, it was insane. Fucking sick.
Insane.
It was sick. Probably shouldn't have thrown it, but when you score, who fucking cares? Bears looked really good. I loved it. It's fucking awesome to see.
Yeah, I think in about 3 or 4 years, we're going to be talking about Caleb Williams as one of the best pure pocket passers in the league. The dude is sharp. He's good at decision making. His ball placement on his receivers. He's got a good connection with his receivers there. And he was like that in college too, at Oklahoma and at USC. I think that's a real conversation we're going to be having in a few years about Caleb Williams. As far as like, where does he rank amongst the best pocket passers? Because the pocket passer in today's NFL, it's kind of like a dying breed. You're seeing a few people, bring it back, but I think Caleb Williams, that's going to be his strength.
I think that he will become a very solid pocket passer, especially in Ben Johnson's offense when Ben can scheme people open and stuff as he continues to learn and develop in that system, which is still a work in progress.
So let me clarify. He's a mobile pocket passer.
Yeah.
I think like the likes of Rodgers in his prime in Green Bay.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. And I don't think Caleb will ever be quite that accurate. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best throwers of football we've ever seen in history, but I can't tell you how much I love seeing this fucking clip. I saw this. Can't believe this is my life going forward now. And it's true. This is my life as a Chicago Bears fan, and I never thought I'd see this. Into the future. Just utter perfection. And I'm excited. It was cold out, but that's Iceman. Don't fucking matter. Don't fucking matter. I loved it. What did you think of the game, Will?
I thought it was really impressive. I didn't see much of it because there was not much to see on Red Zone. That's basically how I watch these games, is Red Zone, because I'm always busy running around doing shit with all my kids. But yeah, the Bears just complete domination. I thought the Browns would keep it close, but good win by the Bears here, and all the guys on the Bears that scored points, like DJ Moore and stuff like that, were on my fantasy bench. So that was cool.
Yeah, and Rome was a late scratch. I messaged you. I'm fuck, dude. Just like we saw late scratches before the game in the cold last week. Rome Odunze re-injured his foot. That's a big deal. The Bears have some decisions to make on how to handle that because, Luther Burden got a little banged up. He's fucking phenomenal. But now you're starting to see like these weapons are starting to drop out, and they need these guys. They need Rome. They need Luther Burden to be at their best. So they got some decisions to make injury wise, but. This is a Cleveland Browns team that has a very good defense. It's not just Myles Garrett. The defense is good. This is a defense that's allowed, I think, close to the fewest passing yards per game, close to the fewest passing touchdowns in the league. It's a good defense, and the Bears embarrassed them. Very efficient, and yeah, I love seeing it, man.
I told you, I think the Browns literally are trying to tank. I mean, granted, they have Shedeur out there making terrible throws, but I think they're tanking, and they're just letting Myles Garrett try to get the sack record. Because I believe he only had a half a sack in this game.
1.5.
1.5. Okay, yeah. So he's one away from tying the record. And I thought at least the Bears to hold Garrett to just a sack and a half, especially with as much as Caleb Williams has been sacked in the past. I thought that was very impressive.
Well, did you hear what was going on with Stefanski and the play calling with Shedeur? Beginning of the game?
I think people are making a little more big of a deal than it is, but apparently Shedeur had some wrong stuff on his fucking wristband. Look,
yeah.
I'm not convinced Shedeur Sanders can fucking read. Okay, Shedeur Sanders throws a really nice ball, and I think he's got slightly above average athleticism. Shedeur Sanders' problem is I think he's an actual fucking retard. I think his processing speed is incredibly slow. Some of the sacks that he takes are very strange to me. And look, I saw Caleb Williams get sacked the third most times of any quarterback in history last year, right? They've obviously fixed that and changed that, but they're different sacks. And the sacks that Shedeur takes, it's like he can't process that this person is going to hit him. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Shedeur fucking sucks, bro. So it's good to see them beat the fuck out of him. Ravens, Bengals. Look, I picked the Bengals in this game, but I didn't feel great about it, especially after some of Joe Burrow's comments, but I did not expect this. And the Bengals had opportunities where they were down in range of scoring and just couldn't come away with fucking anything. I don't think the Ravens looked particularly good. I think their defense looked really solid, but the offense did not look particularly good. The Ravens obviously needed this, and the Bengals doesn't matter for the Bengals really, but I expected the Bengals to put up a little more of a fight than this.
Yeah, I was surprised, but Joe Burrow making some mistakes. That pick six, that Kyle Van Noy, pitching it off to the other defender. That was a heads up by him because he don't have the wheels like he used to. Yeah, the Ravens went in there and dominated yesterday, and I picked the Bengals too, but I was a little cautiously optimistic, like you said, based off of Burrow's comments during the week. I'm like, what are we gonna see? So. Disappointing loss for the Bengals, and now they're eliminated.
Yeah, the betting market was signaling that this was going to be a huge win for the Ravens. Like it was going to, every sharp bettor, and the public was all on the Bengals because of what they saw on Thanksgiving. And, that Thanksgiving game, kind of a little bit of fool's gold. There was 5 turnovers by the Ravens in that one, which is kind of why I like the Ravens, that they just played a cleaner game. I still was not impressed with the Ravens, and I hope the Ravens keep doing what they're doing by not giving Henry the ball. He only had 11 carries, granted he had 100 yards. I don't know why they don't hand the guy that ball more often, but I hope they just don't do that this next week against my Patriots. I'll be happy with that. But yeah, there's something wrong with the Bengals and Burrow. After the game, he said it didn't matter what team he was on today. No one was going to win with him at quarterback. Like he's in a funk this week. It's very strange. I heard something, Beardo. I wanted to get your opinion on this. They said, what if the Giants traded Dart and their first round pick this year that's going to be a top 3 pick for Burrow? Would you be happy with that?
There's no way. I don't know what his contract looks like. If he's got like a no trade clause, I don't think he would approve.
He doesn't have a no trade clause.
He don't want to go to New York. New
But
York
I'm
is the
asking you as a
last place.
fan, would you be okay with giving up your Dart and a first round top 3 pick for Joe Cool?
No. And let me tell you, I wouldn't. And let me tell
you have a chance to get a top 5 QB.
Okay. You asked me a question. I'm trying to answer.
Okay.
Getting interrupted here.
My bad.
Jeez Louise. No. Let me explain. Joe Burrow has had 2 knee injuries, a foot injury, and a pretty bad wrist injury. Jackson Dart has 1 concussion under his belt. And
Jackson Dart gets knocked out of every game he plays. Yeah.
He's been taken out of 5 of the 10 games he's played this season with concussions.
He missed 2 weeks.
I know, but he's been checked out for a concussion in 5 of the 10 games.
Yeah, that's because these people are fucking pussies putting him into the blue tent. Okay. I think Jackson Dart has a high ceiling, and Joe Burrow, you don't know how much longer he's gonna fucking play for. You don't. Joe Burrow can play for 3 more years and just decide, fuck it. I've made my money. I'm done. Where Jackson Dart, you don't know what his ceiling is right now. So I'd probably just stick with Jackson Dart.
Dude, the Giants organization must be so good at brainwashing their fans.
Yeah, I mean, I would take that in a heartbeat. If I were the Cincinnati Bengals. You were just talking about like what you do with the number 1 overall pick or whatever, and certainly you could add a really quality player. Whatever, you're not going to go quarterback because you just got Jackson Dart. But fuck, if you could do that and get Burrow, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Joe Burrow doesn't want to leave Cincinnati. Joe Burrow wants to stay with Jamar Chase probably and all this stuff and ride it out there and try to win there. But if the situation presented itself and that's all it took, Jackson Dart and your first round pick, that's going to be potentially the number 1. The Giants should do that in a heartbeat. But that's not enough for Joe Burrow, I don't think. Not with this QB class.
Well, it'd be just the same with Burrow, though, in New York. Like, as a Giants fan, putting Burrow back there swap him or Dart out, it's going to be the fucking same. Doesn't matter.
I don't think so. Burrow's done amazing things with this shitty Bengals organization. I think he could do even better with the Giants.
What are the Giants? 2-10, 2-11, 2-12. The Giants are 2-12. If Joe Burrow started all 14 games for the Giants this season so far, we're 2-12. We'd be 4-10 if Joe Burrow was our starter for the entire fucking year.
You'd probably be 14-0 or something like
that. Okay. With Malik Neighbors out, with Scadaboo breaking his fucking foot.
Malik Neighbors wouldn't have tore his ACL. Burrow would have let him.
Is that right?
Would have let him perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, Burrow would have thrown a better pass. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we just talking about the fucking Bears. Why are we talking about we're talking about the fucking Bengals? How did we skip 3 games to get to the Giants?
We didn't. It was the Joe Burrow question.
Yeah. My fault.
By the way, Derrick Henry got 1,100 yards this season, almost 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Average 4.8 yards per carry. Not terrible for an old wash running back.
No touchdowns. Yeah, he's a bum.
10 touchdowns on the season.
No, I'm saying yesterday, dude.
It's
yesterday.
true.
100 yards rushing. He doesn't have a touchdown to show for it.
Only had 11 touches.
Yeah, man.
Washed.
He's washed.
This game obviously was big. The Chiefs were playing for their playoff lives. Patrick Mahomes was playing for his playoff life, and Patrick Mahomes in the last 4 minutes or so of this game, 3 minutes, whatever that was.
3 and some change, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Late in the fourth quarter, as the Kansas City Chiefs were trying to come back down 3 against the LA Chargers in just a kind of sloppy, messy game. Obviously not very high scoring. They were down in the red zone threatening, could have gone up, and Patrick Mahomes threw a pick. It was a great interception for the record. Like a one-handed snatch by the Chargers player, by Henley, I believe. And but then Patrick Mahomes goes down. he's had a bad knee, but nursing a bad knee. He kind of lands awkwardly, gets a little caught, and he tears his ACL. The Chiefs get eliminated from the playoffs as no Minshew magic happens at the end of this game. Damn. And Patrick Mahomes tears his fucking ACL, which is rough. There's a lot of people out there that were very happy to see the Kansas City Chiefs eliminated from the playoffs. Right. It's not as happy when it comes with the image of Patrick Mahomes limping off the field, torn ACL, all this shit. But certainly with everyone already hot on the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty over, window done, it's break it up, it's over. This is just icing on that cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's tough to see. You never want to see somebody like Patrick Mahomes, as much as we dog on him and call him gay and shit like that. Like to see him go down, especially this late in the season. Now you're questioning, well, is he going to be back in time to start next year with rehab and everything? And even if he is ready to go week 1, which would be a miracle, he's missing all that time in camp. And it's not like he needs to learn the system. He's been in the system. He's comfortable with it. But getting into game shape and stuff, Patrick Mahomes is already out of shape. He's walking like a fat lesbian out there most of the time. But there was something exciting came out of it. It was, we get a Gardner Minshew sighting. Holy shit, fucking Gardner Minshew. I was pumped. I'm like, let's go. And then he goes out there and throws a pick and ends the Chiefs season. So that was a bummer. But it was weird. Mahomes, the play was weird because, yeah, he was getting brought down, but that's not really why he tore his ACL. It's not like he got rolled up on awkwardly. It was him trying to brace, like he was planting to try to brace for his fall, and he hyperextended his knee a little bit and just popped.
Yeah, and I think maybe even on the way, like as there was slight contact and his foot was coming off the ground after that pop, there may have been a little twist that didn't help it. But he was in, like, he had a knee injury before this, so you probably had a partial tear that you were dealing with anyway, and that's why something like this happens. Rough to see. I saw Naaman said, well, that was near the end of the game, so it didn't affect the game. Well, look, I think that anyone in the world would rather have Patrick Mahomes in the last 4 minutes trying to come back and score to tie the game up or potentially win the game than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
So no, it's not like this happened at the beginning of the game. They had to play all game with Gardner Minshew, but happened at a pretty critical junction.
It was one drive with Minshew, I think, and he
it's a pretty critical junction in the game.
Yeah.
Can I defend Minshew for a second because he's a Coug? So I got to do it.
I love it.
In the chat, people are calling him old. Dude hasn't taken a snap all season. It's 20 degrees out and he's coming in cold. And granted, yes, the only number he could see out there was 87 was Travis Kelce because that's the only guy he would throw to. But I mean, Minshew did what you want from a backup quarterback. I mean, the game was lost at that point. You had your superstar franchise quarterback go down. The energy or hope of winning that game was already sucked out of that stadium. Their season's done. Two things I want to talk with you guys about in this game. One, this could probably be the best thing for the Chiefs. Now, you don't want Mahomes getting injured like this, but the Chiefs are in trouble next year. They're $40 million above the cap, and granted, the cap's going to go up. Kelsey's an unrestricted free agent, so he's going to be gone. They have a chance. I'm curious what you guys think. What they might
gone
do.
Or retire?
You think he's going to retire? I don't think he's going to go play anywhere else. But he's not on contract with the Chiefs next year, so they're not going to sign him again. I don't think.
I could totally see Kelsey with the way this season ended with Mahomes being injured. I can totally see him coming back and saying, you know what, one more fucking time. Yeah. Run it back. This year was a fluke. We're going to run it back.
He's going to have to do it at a massive pay cut, though, because of that salary cap.
If they would have, let's say, gone to the AFC
He's getting married to one of the richest bitches in the world. He can afford it.
This is true. If the Chiefs were to have lost in the AFC Championship or lost the Super Bowl, he would have probably hung him up. But this kind of year, I think he runs it back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you guys think the Chiefs are going to try to win next year? Or the other option is Andy Reid, 68. Kelsey's old. Mahomes coming off an injury. Maybe you push Mahomes, try to be back to start the season. Or you protect your franchise quarterback. You just punt on next year. You are in salary cap hell next year. But after that, they have a ton of cap space in 2027. They might be able to this offseason trade Chris Jones. If not, they can get out of the Chris Jones contract after next season. I think this is a rebuild year. Maybe Reed retires. They bring in a new coach, let him have a year to build the squad he wants, knowing that it's going to be a dud year anyways. And then you run it back with a healthy Patrick Mahomes the following year. They don't have, I think their highest paid offensive weapon is the second string tight end next year. I mean, they need help on the offensive line. They've got a lot of problems. They could just blow it all up. I mean, that's why I'm saying this is kind of a blessing because you have an excuse with Mahomes being injured. Do you try to rush him back early, or do you just say, hey, let's just punt on this year, get our franchise quarterback healthy, let's rebuild, stock up, we'll have all the salary cap space in the world the following year and build a team that way?
It's possible. And look, Patrick Mahomes, in theory, could be back for week 1 next year. With ACL recovery timeline, it doesn't look like there was any other damage necessarily that they'd have to worry about. So the idea of a 8-9 month, it's theoretically possible. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it's 100%. He'd miss a lot of training camp and all that stuff. I think we have to start talking about Andy Reid a little bit. Mm-hmm. Everybody loses it at some point. Andy Reid is very old, and we've talked a lot about Patrick Mahomes' regression and stuff like this. I think it's also undeniable that for the first several years of this Chiefs run, it felt like, did they have Tyreek Hill and stuff? Yes, but they also were scheming guys open all the time, especially the red zone issues this year. It feels like a lot of the high-profile offensive gurus, they scheme guys open, especially in the fucking red zone, and they have high success rates in the red zone because of those plays, because of those gadgets, because of these things. And it doesn't feel like the Chiefs have had that the past few years. And as much blame as we're going to put on Patrick Mahomes, and understandably so if he's not playing the way we expect him to, I think some of that has to fall on Andy Reid too, maybe just not having the juice or not being as innovative anymore, or maybe just falling a little bit behind the times in the modern day NFL. And who could blame him? The guy's had a hell of a fucking career, Hall of Famer. But he's just old. And
look at Belichick when he pushed 70. He was losing it too. Belichick was just stubborn in his ways. He was losing it. You say, I agree with you. Patrick Mahomes, the last few seasons has regressed. This season, you can make the argument this has been his best season. I mean, he's like the leading rusher on the team. He's doing everything they can. Back when they had all that talent around him, we remember the amazing Patrick Mahomes because he only had to do like 5 big plays a game, and he completed all of them. He stepped up when they needed. Now they need him to be Superman the whole game through, and it's just not because he doesn't have anything around him.
That's a good thing.
No, I know it's not. That's what I'm saying. You blow it up this year to get other pieces around him, and then let him come back to being Mahomes. He's going to be fine after this injury. I mean, we know that guy's coming back from the ACL injury. That he's going to be fine. I think you get pieces around him when you have all we're talking over $100 million in salary cap space in 2027. You can get some guys, especially some veterans who want to come and try to win a championship and play with Patrick Mahomes. It'd be like when Brady was on the Patriots and people are like, I'm going to take a little bit of a discount to go try to win a ring, right? You could play him for the following year. It's not an easy thing to do, but I think with this injury, the organization has an excuse. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys about is, does this mean that Travis and Taylor have to push their wedding back a year? Because Patrick's not going to be able to cut it up on the, because he's not going to be, he's not going to be able to cut it up.
He's not going to be able to be on the dance floor?
Yeah, dude. Travis he wants his main guy out there doing the slide with him and everything.
Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is a big dancer?
Oh, yeah.
His brother certainly is, but it doesn't look like Patrick has much patience.
Oh, I bet you Patrick cuts it up on the dance floor.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I'm just saying, you don't want him rolling out there in a wheelchair or something.
You got to look at some players, some quarterbacks who are on a one-year contract this year who might be able to start for the Chiefs next year. I don't know, maybe like a Russell Wilson. Get him out of New York.
Nah, dude, I think you can roll with Gardner Minshew for this. In theory, Patrick Mahomes should play next year. He might not quite be ready in the beginning, but it's not an Achilles.
He should miss the first month. He should miss the first month, first 4 weeks.
Possibly, yeah. And for quarterbacks, ACLs are not as difficult to deal with because they're not, obviously Patrick Mahomes is running around a lot, but it is much different doing that than it is cutting as a wide receiver or, trying to get crazy fucking leverage as a defensive end coming around the side, like all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see how Patrick Mahomes recovers.
He's trying so hard to be Tom Brady, blowing his knee out. Same year Brady
did. Same year, 9th year, right?
Yeah. Did you see the parallels between that?
Yeah, he's trying so
three
hard.
Super Bowl wins, 29 years old, and then in their 9th season, Tom Brady ACL was against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they lost the Super Bowl the year before. Yeah.
Fucking weird, man.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. The other thing I was going to ask you guys about that too was, what do you guys think about Travis Kelce not taking media questions after a loss? He's happy to go out there and a win. Last few games the past month, after a loss, he won't do it. He saves it for his own podcast on Tuesday.
Hey, he's a bitch.
I think it's kind of a bitch move because you love the media. You've been their darling for so long, and then you lose a game and you don't take any questions. And granted, I get it. You're going to go monetize it yourself. So go get your money and go put it on your own podcast. But it still seems like a kind of a bitch move not to just go out there.
It is a bitch move, especially because you can just give some lame fucking answers or whatever. And you know, do your new heights, whatever it is anyway. It's tough for people who all they've known is fucking winning to like lose, but you gotta fucking accept it with some grace. Got a lot of other things going on pretty well in your life right now, Travis. So just take your fucking lumps. Let's catch up with a couple of these super chats real quick. Net Steelers are 1-10 without Watt. Last chance to change. I'm sticking with it because then I'll be happy. I'll be happy if Aaron Rodgers gets beat, but I'll also be happy if the Steelers win because I picked it. So I'm hedging my bets there.
Also, the Steelers have won 22 straight Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, Tomlin's record on Monday Night Football it does, but Tomlin's record on Monday Night Football is second, I believe, only to John Madden in terms of winning percentage on Monday Night Football. I don't know what that means, but Taker, Ryan, when was the last time the Bears were 10-4 after week 14?
06?
I was going to say, I don't know if it's the Super Bowl year or if maybe during that Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy run when they won the NFC back in 2018. I don't remember exactly what their record was then. But possibly they were in a similar situation.
Cutler, Brandon Marshall years.
The Cutler and Brandon Marshall, I don't think we ever had this good of a record. After
you guys went to the NFC Championship one year.
We did. Where was it Caleb Haney who had to replace Jay Cutler who got injured?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think
that was in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, Jay Cutler got hurt.
And that was the year Green Bay beat Pittsburgh, right?
I think so. But yeah, somebody said 2018. It may have been, I forget what the Bears record. I think they were 11-5. Were they 11-5 or 12-4 that year? So that very well could have been it. The 2018 double doink year. And he said, also, you've seen Brian Urlacher's baldness treatment ad. Dude looks awful with hair. He's had hair for like a couple years now. He does look weird with hair, but he's had it for a while. SCDB for 5. I despise that this year will be remembered as the season Mahomes blew his knee out and not the year Mahomes was eliminated from the playoffs. I think both are going to be remembered.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it's not like this is the reason they missed the playoffs. Missed the playoffs, and this happened at the very end. Even if they'd won this game, the amount of help they would have needed from a lot of different places. USNC Connor, what are they going to say about the Broncos now? Go Broncos. I'm going to say go Broncos because fuck the Packers. I was super excited with that. Chris Cran, it'd be cool if things fall into place and maybe the Bears play the Buccaneers in the first round, Ryan. Let's fucking go.
Bucs need help.
No, they control their own destiny.
The Bucs do control their own destiny because they played the Panthers a couple times, right? And the Panthers threw up over themselves against the Saints.
They need help within because they haven't been playing well.
Well, they need help this week because the Bucs, even when Tom Brady was on the Bucs, they always suck in Carolina. And Carolina this season plays way better at home than on the road, and that's where the game's at this week.
It would have to be so the Tampa Bay, the only way they're getting in is winning their division. So if that would mean the Bears would need the top wild card seed, I believe, and I just don't know if there's any way that happens just because of Seattle and the Rams. I don't know if maybe technically there could be, but I don't know if there's a scenario where the Bears are able to get the top wild card spot. I'm sure it is theoretically possible, maybe, but we'll see. With both, because the Seahawks and the Rams are both 12 and whatever, right?
11-3.
No,
11-3. They're both 11-3.
Okay. And the Niners
could happen.
4 Niners.
I guess it could happen. Yeah,
dude, the Bears could be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they could.
Yes, but what he's specifically talking about the Buccaneers hosting the Bears in the first round, which would mean the Bucs would have to have the 4 seed and the Bears would have to have the 5 seed. So that's why I'm saying it might be tough to.
It could happen. The Rams went out, and then the Niners and Seahawks lose a couple, and then obviously they played last week of the year, so one of them's going to win and one of them's going to lose. So yeah, theoretically, yeah, it is possible.
But the Niners play the Bears, and if the Bears win that game, there's a much higher likelihood they could win the division.
Yeah,
it's just it's tough. SCDB also Brady blew his knee out in week 1, not after getting bumped from the playoff race. The Brady Holmes comparisons need to stop at all levels.
By the way, the Bears were 10-4 in 2018. They finished the season 12-4, according to Grok.
There you go. There you go. That was my estimation. So that makes sense. And then I watched Cody fucking Parkey, double doink bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. The Brady Holmes compare. Look, Mahomes would have to have an incredible rest of his season to match the accolades, or the rest of his career to match the accolades that Tom Brady has. However, if you're looking at the first, 9 years of someone's career, the amount of AFC Championship appearances, the amount of Super Bowl wins, the only guy that you can argue is comparable to Brady is Mahomes. So I don't think anyone is saying right now that Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. We're talking about the pace and could he potentially be considered? I don't think it'll ever happen. I think it's going to be impossible for that to happen based on the way Patrick Mahomes plays. But I don't get irritated that people talk about it, I guess.
I think it's harder nowadays with the salary cap and everything too. But also the parity in the league seems different nowadays. But Patrick Mahomes going to have to do it with a different coach, which Brady never had to do, and that's going to be huge. Because even if Andy Reid comes back for a couple more seasons, if Patrick Mahomes plays 10 more seasons, Andy Reid is not going to be around for 10 seasons. So
he might not be alive for 10 seasons.
Yeah. So it's going to depend on who he gets as his next coach, which is going to be huge and hard to fill those shoes of Andy Reid.
I mean, he could totally go full Brady and try to get Bruce Arians out of the box and bring Bruce Arians to coach the Chiefs.
That'd be crazy.
And he's really going full Brady.
Co-differ for 10. Bear the fuck down, Ryan. Good, better, best. I knew it was a win against the Browns, but we showed up in all phases. Yeah, we needed it. And yeah, the Browns suck, but that's what the Bears have not really done this season is even when you're playing against bad teams, beat the fuck out of them. They've had a lot of very close games playing down to their competition, including the Giants, right? They needed a comeback win for that. And so to see them beat a bad team the way you would expect a good team to do it, very encouraging for me to see. SCDB, even before the injury, I thought Mahomes' career would trend more towards Russell Wilson than Brady Manning, a scramble quarterback on the wrong side of 30. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as Russell Wilson. I think Patrick Mahomes is more skilled and smarter than that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Haseeb Mian. Of course, my Cowboys made 9 look like a good quarterback. That's the Matt Eberflus effect. Sideless, rough week for my Lions, but at least we're not the Packers or Chiefs. Saw you classless fans celebrating Brian Branch's injury. I don't feel bad. Who? So who is celebrating Brian Branch? I didn't see that part. Sideless. Let me make sure we're good. We are good over on this side. By the way, for the people that are watching us over on Rumble, thank you guys for 100,000 followers over on Rumble.
Let's go.
Don't really know how. Don't really know why. I believe it is the biggest sports channel on Rumble. All I can do is search sports and stuff because the categories and things are a little tough on Rumble. But I believe we are the biggest sports channel on Rumble, which is kind of crazy.
Did you
consider we don't usually have too many people watching?
Are you going to apply for your little plaque or your little Rumble stick?
We've already got one for geeks and gamers as a whole, but maybe we could. Maybe we could do that. I'll have to see about it. Can you do it for individual channels?
I think so.
I'm going to fucking do that. I want one of those Rumble things.
Yeah.
We never got any fancy deals or anything from y'all, but I'm going to get my fucking stick.
Why not?
That? How about that? All right, let's get back to, we will catch up with all the super chats in a little bit, but let's get back to some of these games. Bills, Patriots. We talked about this one a little bit already, but man, oh man, it did not look good for the Buffalo Bills in the second quarter. Look at that win percentage, 94% probability in the second quarter. But Josh Allen went Josh Allen. They had a couple breaks go their way. Trevion Henderson had a fucking crazy day. Who would have known that maybe you should just hand the ball to that motherfucker? That play where it was supposed to be a big kind of outside zone to the right, it got all bunched up, and Trevion reversed field, and Drake May goes out to be the fucking lead blocker. Awesome play, awesome moment. But, you know, the awesome kind of ended there for them with that play because the Buffalo Bills do sneak away with a victory that the Patriots probably feel like they should have had in their pocket after this.
You know, May laid down 2 good blocks in that game. Obviously, that one wasn't really a good block, but there was one where they did a little wide receiver reverse, and he came outside and chipped off a linebacker like perfectly. I was impressed by that. But like I said before, good loss. It teaches his team, you know, that, I mean, it would have been nice to win the division and get this behind us, but I think they'll learn from this. It was great that we were able to run the ball. Trevion Henderson, that boy can scoot, like you were saying on that play, dude. No one catches that guy in the open field. If he gets out in the open field, you're not catching him.
I thought Trevion Henderson was like this one of the steals of the draft. I liked him more than I like Judkins. Now, Judkins, obviously, I think if he's on a different team that has a couple more threats and maybe some barrier quarterback play, I think he'd be having a bigger season than he is. He's still
the draft was Scattaboo.
Scattaboo is going to be a career 3.7 yards per carry rusher who is out, like, who doesn't even get a second contract.
Going to be a white Frank
That's
Gore.
insane. All right. I'll
You think
remember
that's
that.
insane? Why?
I'll remember that.
Why is that insane?
Well, I'll just wait. We'll just wait.
Running back, look, the running back position in the NFL is one of the like lowest average years spent in the NFL. People do not like to give running backs big second contracts for obvious reasons because of the decrease in productivity, because of the wear and tear. And I just don't. I think Cam Scattaboo is a fun character, but I don't know, man.
I think the Patriots didn't know what to do with a lead. You can't go 3 and out to start the second half after the Bills score on the opening possession and give Josh Allen the ball back when he's getting hot. I was kind of shocked by the Patriots defense. Like, no one's been able to run on them that much, and James Cook just comes out and runs all over them. Stephon Diggs, who I think is actually surprisingly being a good leader in the locker room. It's crazy how he had such a big game last time they played the Bills, and this time he didn't even show up. He hasn't shown up for the last few weeks.
Because he's a dad now. He's too busy.
Well, after he became a dad, that next game he had a really big game. So, or I guess
he got one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got one.
It's a good loss. I hate it because it's the Bills, but I feel confident. I'm thinking this. I think the Patriots get the 2 seed. I think the Bills go in the second round of the playoffs, go into Denver. How crazy is this? This is just like what it's scripting itself out perfectly. The Broncos are the only team that haven't lost at home this season, and if they beat the Jags this week and it's going to stay that way, how funny would it be if their first playoff game, because they get it by their first playoff game, they have to host the Bills and the Bills beat them, their first home loss of the season. And I would love, I know no one else would probably love this, but I would love a Patriots-Bills AFC championship in Foxborough. Could happen.
That would be nuts. Yeah. It does feel like these teams are likely to meet again in some way. Patriots still, despite this loss, they're 11-3 on the season. Not the best showing from Drake May after what has been a stellar season for him, certainly. But still, kind of like we talked about before, I don't think we expected the Patriots to be where they are. I think a lot of us expected the Patriots to potentially maybe grab a wild card if everything went right. But I don't think we expected them to be in contention for the number 1 overall seed, right? Which they are. So,
These two teams feel very similar. They're flawed in the same spots and whatnot. And like I said, we get our linemen back when the playoffs come around, so that's gonna be huge.
The Bills still have so many fucking problems, man. This is the second straight game they've had to come back from a double-digit deficit. In this case, it was 3-touchdown deficit.
And what's crazy is this is Josh Allen's best year to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, he's got like shit around him. And I'm sorry, I love Drake May. Obviously, he's my quarterback, but I think Josh Allen should be ahead of him in the MVP voting at this point. He's not. It's Stafford, then May by a good chunk, and then Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's still like 8-1, which I think is good value if you like him, because if he wins out, he's got a couple big games coming up, including against the Eagles. I think Allen could steal the MVP.
I think he could too.
How many guys have won MVP that were a wild card spot in the playoffs as opposed to a 1 or 2 seed?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is rarer nowadays, but I mean, they still technically could win the division. So
I know. I'm just saying, like playing this out and saying all things kind of stay the same. I do wonder how often that happens.
I think you have to throw that out, because I think nowadays the MVP comes down to the last 4 weeks of the season, because it's like, what have you done for me lately? At least the betting markets react that way, and the voters seem to vote the same way. If Allen wins out and they win their last, which would be their last like 6 games winning, and he puts up numbers, obviously, because he has to for the Bills to win, and Stafford stumbles, he's got a big game on Thursday against Seattle. It could be, I think Stafford should win it still, but it could just be like, oh wow, look how hot the Bills and and Josh Allen was to end the season, and they had this 12-win season, but it just wasn't good enough to win the division. I think they would still give it to him. At least some voters.
NFL MVPs who did not win their division. The most recent one was Peyton Manning, and that was, I believe, because it was the tie with him and Steve McNair in 2008, right?
Okay, so it's been a while.
2008.
But before
Steve
that,
McNair.
right? Steve McNair was 2008, right? Am I wrong about that?
That doesn't sound right, because I think because he won it with.
Was that like
Titans.
2003 or something?
Yeah, it was like 04. 03 or 04. No, 03 was Marshall Faulk, right? Or was that Kurt Warner? I can't remember. But no, because in 08, Steve McNair had to have been on the Ravens at that point. And his MVP, he was with the Titans.
Okay, so they finished second in the division behind the Titans, which is what made me think that maybe that was that year. But yeah, the other two, O.J. Simpson in 1973.
Johnny Unitas was one.
And Johnny Unitas in 1967. Those are the 3 that I see that did not win their division, but yet won MVP. So, yeah. Anyway, next game. Commanders, Giants. What did we say about this game? Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels doesn't play, the Washington Commanders have a better chance to win. Jaden Daniels is fucking washed. I'm just being honest. This is a dude. I said it from the moment he came in the league. He was going to be injury prone. He was not going to fucking last. And the Washington Commanders, I think, are better with Marcus Mariota than they are with Jaden Daniels. And they were good enough to beat the Giants yesterday. Beardo, how'd you feel about the game?
I don't know. I hardly watched it because NFL Red Zone wasn't even showing it. But Tyrone Tracy
what do you
had
mean
a big
wasn't
game.
Showing it?
Dude, they were barely even showing the game on Red Zone yesterday.
Could that have been because there wasn't many, like there wasn't a ton of time in the red zone or something?
Well, and plus, I mean, these two teams are both already eliminated from the playoffs. So, I mean, cool. Jackson Dart, big game through the air, 2 touchdown passes. That's great. Tyrone Tracy, he had a receiving touchdown as well. I mean, this is great, but we lost, so fuck it. I'm good. I'm glad we lost. Let's get that number 1 overall pick so that we can sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, but both these teams' seasons are done. We did get word that Jaden Daniels officially has been shut down for the rest of the season. Whether that's because they're just worried he's going to come out and play like shit more, or because they're actually worried about that elbow thing that has just been lingering and he re-aggravated, but not really, whatever the fuck is going on with him. I think they just don't want to put him out there and make him look even more like shit. But a complete implosion for this Commanders team who made the NFC Championship last year, and people expected big things out of. I expected we saw a regression from the Commanders this year, not as big as we've seen. Certainly, injury problems and stuff like that have not helped them out. But yeah, good game from the Commanders, I guess.
Also, the oldest roster in the league too, so it shouldn't have been too shocking.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Zach Ertz injury was brutal last week. We forget Austin Eckler tore his Achilles in like game 1 or game 2 of this year. He's an old running back. I loved Austin. Austin Eckler won me a lot of fantasy leagues for a couple years when he was with the Chargers. When Melvin Gordon decided to fucking sit out for his fucking new contract and Austin Eckler just came in like a fucking madman. Yeah. Those were the days. Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, that double stack for me in PPR leagues. It's fucking killer.
That 08, Peyton Manning won the MVP, but not the division. Tennessee Titans won the division. Kerry Collins and Vince Young were quarterback.
Wow.
Kerry Collins and Vince Young. I think Vince Young got injured and Kerry Collins stepped in and helped him win the division.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's what made me immediately think it was the tie with him and McNair, was just because the note that I saw said the Titans won the division. So I was like, well, fuck, if the Titans were, that must have been when McNair was there, but fuck.
McNair was either with the Ravens or he was dead.
Dead?
Yeah.
No, I think it was right around 2008. Wasn't that would have been Vince Young's like third season in the league, third or fourth, right?
Yeah, he got drafted, 06 or 07?
What wasn't the national title? Was that 2005 or 2004, the national title game against
Steve McNair died in 2009.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The title would like Texas USC.
Was that 05?
I think that was 05, 06. Like, I think the title might have been January of 06.
Of 06? Okay. So, yeah, that would have been his, like, second or third year in the league then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This game was... Yeah, we said it can't possibly get worse than Geno Smith. Well, maybe it could. Kenny Pickett had 64 yards passing in the game. Poor Ashton Genty has maybe the worst line in football. Pete Carroll is in over his head. Pete Carroll is getting upset and snapping at reporters for saying, how do you get guys not to give up in a situation like this? And the Eagles definitely needed a get right game, maybe more than anybody else in the league. And they did get right. It's not like they were, forced to put this offense, going at all cylinders or anything. Jalen Hurts, 175 yards, only threw the ball 15 times. Saquon doesn't even get to 100 yards, but a decimation by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Did you see Pete Carroll came out and said, "Oh, I don't feel like I'm coaching for my job or anything." I'm like, dude, you're coaching to live at this point, because once you retire, I mean, I don't wish anything ill on him, but we know when people retire that's had this long career and they don't have anything to do, the end ends up coming near or sooner than people think. You know what I mean?
Shit, I don't know, man. Tom Coughlin, he retired like 2013, and I'm ready to fucking dig him back up and have him be the coach of the Giants again.
Yeah, but he stayed in like the front office and stuff like that.
Well, he went down to Jacksonville where it was warm.
Yeah.
The fact that Brandon Graham has 2 sacks in this game, what the fuck, man? Brandon Graham.
And not only that, Pete Carroll said that the Raiders played and fought hard yesterday. It's like this team played hard.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Can we talk about the biggest joke of a story this season? Remember at the beginning of the season, everyone was freaking out because, oh no, the Raiders are going to have such a huge advantage because Tom Brady gets to see and talk to these other teams. I mean, that was a big old whiff. Clearly, Tom Brady, either he's a horrible scout or, you know what I mean? Like that was such a nothing story that they tried to make a huge deal. Clearly, it's not helping the Raiders get an advantage.
Yeah, apparently not. Maybe they would have had no wins if Tom Brady wasn't.
Maybe
games for
or maybe the Raiders are tanking for Arch Manning.
Maybe. Did you also see Biden was at that game and he had an Eagles hat on? That was the year that they lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, they lost the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You can't make it up.
I saw a post on Twitter that was like, former President Joe Biden's at the game. And the quote tweet was, man, he's going to be so thrilled when somebody tells him that he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been funny if him and Pete Carroll would have stood next to each other. It would look like brothers. Just 2 old guys out there.
Well, they're almost the same age, but Pete Carroll is so much more cognitively there. It's crazy. Jets, Jags. Trevor Lawrence had a career game, 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
Actually, he had statistically the best quarterback play game ever in the history of all time in the NFL. No quarterback has ever thrown for 5 touchdown passes, over 300 yards passing, with 50 yards rushing, with a rushing touchdown. First time ever in NFL history. He fucking, why even wait till the end of the year? Give him the MVP right now.
Were you saving that this whole stream? It feels like you had that ready to go.
Yep.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Because
It's
all year I've been believing in Trevor Lawrence. I've been believing in Trevor Lawrence. I've been saying Trevor Lawrence is actually good. He's a good quarterback. He's just had shit luck here in Jacksonville. This is like his fucking 4th coach in 5 years in Jacksonville. Like, give the guy some time.
It's funny because he had an incredible day. He's not had a great year, you know.
Well, and also, to be fair, he played the Jets and Brady Cook.
They just fired their defensive coordinator as well.
They did.
Yeah, the Jets are on like their fucking 7th quarterback, and Aaron Glenn is obviously a fucking joke of a head coach. And they just fired Steve Wilkes, who was a joke of a head coach and is a joke of a defensive coordinator. They traded away all their fucking good players on defense as well. The wheels have come off on this season for the New York Football Jets, but you can't take it away from Trevor Lawrence playing well. I think that run game has been so good for them all year long. That's what's been really consistent for them. But this was Trevor Lawrence's day. He feasted. And you know, the funniest thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars is that their number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, just doesn't fucking matter.
Dude, they started playing better once he got injured.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, by the way, Beardo, heading into this game was 30th in the league in QBR, by the way.
Well, it doesn't matter because now he's the best.
Okay.
Dude's a stud, man.
A stud.
Can't wait against them in the playoffs.
You're gonna fade him in the playoffs. I would too.
The Texans. Texans put up a 40 burger. On the Cardinals, and Jacoby Brissett, just like we said, probably going to throw for 40 fucking passes in this game. He did. Had 3 touchdowns.
He always has great stats. Like 250, 3 touchdowns. They lose by 20.
Yeah, but they're always down 1 million points. That's the problem. It started off early. Nico Collins had that big fucking, it's felt like a 60-yard touchdown catch or something at the very beginning. It was just off to the races from there. Houston dominated in the first quarter. It was pretty much over. Did you pick the Cardinals in this game?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. It was my upset of the week.
I was on Houston. Thank you.
Yeah.
Upset of the week. Ugh.
Houston's looking good, man. This defense is fierce, and it feels like the offense is clicking at the right time. Yeah, dude, Texans dominated, and they're sitting pretty right now with the Colts with going through all their problems. Now the Texans are sitting there at 9-5 and feeling good.
I'd bet it again. I still think it was there was a high probability it was going to be a flat spot for the Texans. Obviously didn't happen, but maybe they're the real deal. We'll see.
They're sitting right now for the 7th seed, the 3rd wild card.
I know they'd be facing my Patriots. Ugh.
Indy's
First
on the
round.
outside looking in. Yeah, Houston looking like they're going to New England if the season ended today. So,
yeah. What else can you say? Shitty game, but good win by the Texans.
yep.
Packers Broncos, great fucking game.
This was a good game until about the 4th quarter.
Great game. Well, I loved it in the 4th quarter when Denver started actually fucking winning this game. That was perfect for me. But the Green Bay Packers, coming off a big win against the Chicago Bears, travel to go to Denver up at Mile High. And I did say I thought that what's his fucking nuts? Micah Parsons. I thought Micah Parsons was going to I thought he was going to be a little tired having to chase straight, Bo Nix around and all this stuff. I did not expect him to go down with an ACL non-contact injury. That is one of the biggest stories coming out of this game beyond just the loss for the Green Bay Packers and the fact that the Bears jumped them for top of the NFC North. To have the guy that you just gave up so much draft capital for, and really felt like you had turned this defense around and into a fucking monster with that pass rush. all of a sudden things feel a little bit different without him on the field. That is a brutal, more than the game, losing the game, that is a huge loss for them.
Yeah, did you hear what Ryan Clark said last night?
He's like, Bo Nix.
It was either last night or this morning.
He was like, Bo Nix caused this injury because of how violently he had to be pursuing him. Bo Nix's scrambling ability is the reason this happened.
Correct.
You know what I think?
That was wild.
I'm gonna take credit for Caleb Williams because I keep calling him fucking Myles Garrett. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was fucking running all over last week, trying desperately to fucking get Caleb Williams, and he couldn't fucking do it. Couldn't fucking catch him. Couldn't fucking do it. All his energy and efforts went into that. And I think that weakened the structural integrity of his knee. And I think Bo Nix just finished the job.
That's what I think. That's what it was. It was the white quarterback that took the black defender down, according to Ryan Clark.
Dude, can we give a little hats off, round of applause to Bo Nix? Probably his best game of his career. I mean, they were down in that third quarter. It looked like it was over. The Packers, the Broncos, I think to start the second half, 3-and-out, punted it away. It looks like the Packers are about to run away with it. And Patrick Surtain getting big interception while injuring Watson.
Christian Watson.
And then from there, it just Bo Nix was hitting all his receivers. They were dialed in. And then in the fourth quarter, Micah Parsons goes down, which is not great for the Packers. But I don't know what this Packers team does. I mean, they're going to be without Watson. Obviously they lost Crab.
Maybe not without Watson. Watson, apparently he may still be okay to play in this game against the Bears. It is a short week. It's a Saturday game, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday game. So, and you know what?
Jacobs just injured every week. That says, I don't know, Thursday, maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. You know what I mean? It's just this, I don't know. This Packers team, I can't get a grasp on them all year long. I'm so glad I took the Broncos in this one. The Broncos, I feel like this is just one of those teams that they just know how to win close, gross games. And this one was different because they were down and they actually fought back. The end of this game was disgusting, by the way. Did you see how it ended? It was like a punt, a turnover on downs, it was just gross, but Broncos handled it. They won. It's going to be tough to go up there into Denver, who's likely they're minus like 260 to have the 1 seed. It's going to be tough to go through Denver. I think the only team that can probably do it other than the AFC Championship, if we're talking about that second round of the playoffs, is probably the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
We'll find out, though. Trevor Lawrence and them are going up there this week, so that might be a preview of what we see in the playoffs.
Yep. Do not bet against Trevor Lawrence up in Denver. That's where he plays his best ball.
He's never.
How many games has he played in Denver?
No clue. I was texting my buddy last night, who's a Packers fan. He thinks they're done. His season's done, dude. With Watson out, and then with Micah Parsons done for the year, he's like, we're done.
So Watson went to the hospital after. They thought maybe he had a problem with his lung. They said when I saw him land that way,
it was a broken collarbone.
That's what I thought. When I saw him land that way, I said it's either a broken collarbone or maybe a fucking shoulder thing.
Separated shoulder or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently they said chest. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe collarbone, whatever.
Ribs.
Yeah. And they took him to the hospital. They thought maybe he was having problems with his lungs, but he's apparently okay. So he's not necessarily out for next game. And that's going to be a big factor because when he's in and that speed that he has, look, the Packers have weapons. Jordan Love has a lot of fucking weapons, dude. Those receivers are fast and they're good. But I'm picking the Bears on Saturday. I'll say it right now. I'm picking the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field with such a close game that they played in Green Bay. And with some of this deflation from Micah's injury and everything and just how that changes the game, I'm taking the Bears at home.
Me too.
I have to think about it. Before we move on from this game, one piece that to Denver's offense that I feel really puts this whole team together is that RJ Harvey, dude. He is a fucking gamer.
Yeah.
Obviously great threat in the backfield, but also a passing threat too.
Yeah, good.
I really like that kid. Is he a rookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stud, man.
I think he is, right?
I think he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie. You see him, he rolls his ankles on the field before the game.
Yeah.
Like he walks rolling. It was weird. But it works.
But yeah, anyway, good win by the Denver Broncos. Next game up. another good game. Did I
Really
say
good
this is
game.
going to be a shootout? I think I said it was going to be a shootout.
Maybe.
And I mean, it's not like that I'm fucking telling the future or anything. The Lions and the fucking Rams, but
Hey, this was my best bet, and the Rams almost won by 14, which would cash my bonus bet on this one. They gave up a late touchdown to the Lions, but the Rams blew them out in this game. Go ahead.
yeah, and it didn't start out that way. The Lions started hot. You had that Matthew Stafford, that incredible pick by Aiden Hutchinson on Matthew Stafford that he almost housed. And
incredible. I thought Matthew Stafford lost the MVP right there. He threw it right to him. Like, how did you not see him standing right there and he just dumped it right? I thought that was for someone of Matthew Stafford's experience and how good of a quarterback he is. I can't believe he made that throw.
It was a really good reaction time to be able to not just get up, but also pick it straight from Aiden. As opposed to just deflecting it. But even if that happens, if it goes up in the air, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But they did settle down after that. Puka Nacua had a massive game. You do have to talk about Devontae Adams, who had been dealing with that hamstring injury. He pulled up on a deep ball, and it looked like he pulled up bad. It looked like a bad hamstring injury.
Yeah.
Where you don't really know when he might be back. And Puka went down temporarily too, and he came back in the game though.
He does that though. That's Puka. He goes out, comes in, goes out, comes in. I mean, he's going to be fine. I think they should just sit Devontae Adams for a month until the playoff game.
They will likely have a bye if everything goes right. So I don't know if they're going to have a choice but to sit him. I don't like.
Yeah.
The way he went down, I don't think there's any way he plays next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
It's a short week too. It's on Thursday.
Oh yeah, that's true. Didn't even think about that.
By the way, I'm taking the Rams against the Seahawks for this week.
But for the I'm taking the Rams as well. For the Detroit Lions, however, they're sitting there in a tough situation. They're at 8-6. They need to win out, and they need some things to go their way. Specifically with the Chicago Bears, they need their Bears to lose to either the Packers or to the Niners, and then they need to beat the Bears in the final game of the season at Soldier Field. And it's going to be fucking interesting, man, because everything that happened last year with Ben Johnson leaving, salty Detroit fans mad that your offensive coordinator fucking left your dog shit franchise, a lot of ill will towards Ben Johnson. The Lions blew the fuck out of the Chicago Bears early in this season at Ford Field, just demolished them. And so for potentially a week 18 matchup for these teams that sets up where it's Jared Goff and Dan Campbell against Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, could be pretty awesome. Could be pretty
awesome. Also not, I mean, it's not a terrible schedule, but they host the Steelers next, and then short week for them. They have to play the Vikings, a division opponent in Minnesota on Christmas.
It's a pretty easy schedule for them, yeah, in general.
Easy, but I mean, still a bad scheduling spot, though. You know what I mean? You're playing a Steelers team and then have to go to Minnesota on Christmas on short rest. Definitely, they could absolutely win that, but they are like plus 800 to make the playoffs at this point. So they're a heavy favorite, 8-1 underdog to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they need help. And look, they need help from the Bears. And we talked about earlier, the Bears have the most difficult remaining schedule. They play the Packers, they play the Niners at Santa Clara, and then they play the Lions. 3 really quality teams.
I think the Bears could win those first 2 games, and then week 18 won't matter.
I'm picking them to win next week. At San Francisco. A little bit different story. I don't know how I feel about that game yet, so we'll see when we get there.
I think they can run on them.
They certainly could. I think it'll be a good game, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm calling them winning that game on the road just yet. Panthers, Saints. The Shuckheads have another reason to celebrate again. Will, did you pick this game? You picked the Saints, right?
Yeah, I picked the Saints.
The Saints beat the fucking Panthers, and there was like, it all happened right at the fucking very end of this game. It looked like the Panthers were going to be okay, and then the Saints came roaring back, and a difficult field goal turned into an easy field goal at the very end with a personal foul when Shuck slid, and the Panthers guy nailed him right in the fucking face, which is a tough spot to be in right there for the defender, I believe. But and then you get a pretty easy fucking field goal to win this game. But the Saints, man, they got a little fight in them. Do these New Orleans Saints. Now they got Spencer fucking Rattler off the field.
This was another fun ending to the game. We did have a Spencer Rattler sighting yesterday after that hit to Shuck. Went out there and did what he had to do. He managed the game, threw the ball away just to tick off a few more seconds off the clock. Beautiful, brilliant play by
you mean he didn't
Rattler.
complete a pass? He's pretty good at that.
Yeah. Looked good, man. No, this was a fun game.
Yeah, I think the Saints are happy with their quarterback. I mean, he's growing. They've won 3 out of their last 4 or something, or 3 of the last 5. Saints they got something to look forward to. Maybe they found a quarterback. Who knows? But yeah, I love this pick. Ghost Wins and I were texting about this one beforehand with all the money coming in on the Panthers. Everyone loving the Panthers. We're like, the Saints are going to win this one, aren't they? And sure enough, didn't look good. The Saints are the worst team in the first quarter. They've only covered like 1 first quarter spread. And here again, they were losing at halftime and then found a way to win the game. Good win by the Saints. And by the way, the Panthers 12 straight losses as favorites.
As favorites?
That's right.
Yeah, September 2021 is the last time they were a favorite and won the game.
That would have meant that they were due to win, right, Beardo?
12. Yeah, it's around that 10 mark. Yeah,
they're due.
You feel like they would have been due.
And little Orphan Funkhauser says easy. It was a 60-yarder. Well, no, it was because of the penalty. It was a 47-yarder.
Yeah,
which a 47-yarder in today's NFL, I think, is defined as easy. I don't know what the percentages right now are for inside 50 yards, but
indoors.
Yeah, indoors inside 50 yards, but it would have been a fucking 62-yard attempt. But because of that personal foul, it moved it up to relatively easy range. At least in my opinion, I think it's relatively easy.
Hey, real quick to Jose
Except
Taco
for Cairo Santos
and the other people in the chat that have been tuned into my show in the morning. YouTube did that thing where they pulled me down again 15 minutes into my show.
No.
And then they pulled me down and I hit my appeal while we were live still. They approved my appeal within 30 minutes. And I'm like, that's cool. I could be live right now, but I'm not. I think it's because I have sites up. We were talking about contest picks. And I think the AI detects that and thinks I'm promoting an illegal gambling site or something. I don't know. But
it's good that they are actually looking at your appeals. But yeah.
It's annoying though, because it's the second time within a week that they've pulled down my live stream on YouTube. And I've won my appeal both times. But we'll see. I've never had this happen before. And I do the same stuff I always do. The Titans and 49ers. This game stayed relatively close, even though the final score is 13 points spread. It felt like the game was closer than it probably should have been. I think the Niners absolutely fucking dominated, and the Titans were able to kind of hang in there and look like they could be able to do something. But the game never really felt like it was in doubt. San Francisco felt like they were in control. Solid game from Brock Purdy. He had a little scramble that is making the rounds when he's fucking doing little shit with the ball. But
his comments after the game, he goes, "That was stupid."
He's like, "I have no idea what I was doing. I was an idiot." Yeah. George Kittle's like, he looked like Jesus Christ. If Jesus Christ were a lizard doing the run on the water or something. George Kittle said something stupid like that.
What the hell?
But yeah. Christian McCaffrey apparently had a back issue right before the game, but he still went and was still doing Christian McCaffrey things. Christian McCaffrey may have a 1,000 season before it's all said and done. He's got 922 yards rushing, so he'll probably get to 1,000 there. And receiving, I think he's also rather close to that 900 mark.
Yeah, he's like ninth in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah. Receiving, he's at 820 right now. So that will need to pick up a little bit. That will need to pick up a little bit, but he is very close to a 1,000 season, which is just a dude who's been doing it this long, man. CMC, when he's fucking healthy, just an absolute fucking beast, stud beast. Love to see it.
Beardo,
But,
I wish you were on the show yesterday morning because it's incentive time of the year, and Jawan Jennings one more touchdown catch, and he got a $600,000 bonus. So we all bet him to get a touchdown. He got the
playing
first
Juwan
touchdown.
Jennings.
Yeah, he got the first touchdown. It was nice. I believe he got 2 of them.
But the Titans still hovering there at 2-12. They need a lot of help down there.
And also Kyle Shanahan's comments after the game. They put Brandon Ayuk on like injured, does not show up, and they're like, "What's going on with that?" And he's like, "Dude hasn't fucking reported in 4 months. No, sorry, like 4 weeks." He's like, "I haven't seen him in a month." He's like, "So yeah, he's not on the team right now."
That's such a fucking mess. I can't believe they gave him that money too, just for him to go out and blow out his fucking knee, and then do this. It's just so bitch made. Fuck Brandon Ayuk, pussy ass bitch. Especially as the team's sitting there 10-4.
Yep.
This game,
awesome.
I mean, it was awesome. Not exactly a thriller. The Seattle Seahawks won this game, I think, like the 5th time in franchise history they've won a game without scoring a touchdown. 6 field goals, including a pretty impressive one at the end, for both of these kickers. But Phillip Rivers was the story. Phillip Rivers had not thrown a pass in basically 5 years. Comes out, and it's not like they stretched the field very much. A lot of dinking and dunking and stuff like that. Phillip Rivers, 18 for 27, touchdown. The pick was at the end of the game when they had like 10 seconds left and were trying to desperately force the ball downfield, so I don't even care about that pick. What a story, dude. And they damn near pulled it off. I think Shane Steichen made a big mistake with his play calling in the last 2 minutes of this. The Colts get the ball down 15 or down 13-15. And they got about 2 minutes left. Phillip Rivers picks up a first down with a really good, kind of back shoulder throw by the sidelines. And they seemed very content to kick a 60-yard field goal by Blake Grupe. They felt very content to just fucking run the ball, let Seattle waste their timeouts, and kick a 60-yard field goal, which I feel like you should probably take some action to get a little bit easier field goal than that, even if you're confident in your kicker. But also, because if you're going to do this, you're leaving time on the clock. And I thought it was a very foolish thing not to try to pick up that first down and just settle for the 60-yarder when you're leaving a minute on the clock, basically
on 4th down.
Yeah, it was 4th and 3.
It was a 4th down.
I'm not talking about that 4th down. I'm talking about the play calling that led to that. It was 3 straight runs after that first down.
Okay.
It was after they picked up that first. We can go check the play-by-play. I believe it was 3 straight runs, and one of those is whatever. The first one, let's see, 3-yard run, incompletion. Here's that 16-yard pass. Phillip Rivers deep left to Pierce. 16-yard pass on 3rd and 7 to convert, right? So now you're basically at the 50-ish yard line. You're at the 50-ish yard line. Jonathan Taylor up the middle for no gain. Timeout. Now this one, I guess, was a pass by Phillip Rivers to Tyler Warren for 3 yards to get it to 3rd and 7. And then this was the play call I had an issue with, the 4-yard run from Jonathan Taylor on 3rd and 7. I feel like you do something or try something that can have a chance to pick that up. I know you wanted to pick up the couple more yards. Blake Grupe could have kicked that from 70 yards and it would have been good. But I just feel like with that much time left on the clock, you should have done something to try to pick that up. I don't know.
Did Seattle have one timeout or they were all out? Because they marched down the field in 40 seconds.
They were out.
To get into range.
They were out. They used their 3rd timeout. But I agree with you, Brian. The only thing I disagree with is I think instead of kicking that 60-yarder, they should have went for the 4th and 3. 1, you would have got it closer. 2, you had your timeouts. You could, if you pick it up, what do you got to lose at that point? But you would have guaranteed that the last play of the game was going to be a kick by you. I thought Steichen had a great game plan in this game. The Colts came out, they won the toss, and they took the ball. Their idea, their plan in this game was, we're going to run the ball. We're going to do short passes with Phillip Rivers, and we're going to drain 40 seconds. I mean, they only ran like 58 plays, I think. They were draining clock. If they were going to have to punt, they were going to pin Seattle deep, which they did all game. I thought he should have gambled and went for that 4th and 3 and really left it in. If they pick that up, then it's in their hands, their kicker's leg, I guess, to win the game. Because, I mean, we've seen now if you leave 40-something seconds on the clock, teams can get down there even with no timeouts, no problem.
With the current kickoff rules, whether you fucking boot it all the way deep or let somebody return it, it's almost guaranteed to be 30 yards or more. Like,
or if you kick it out of bounds, it's on the 40, and then it's just like it's guaranteed that you're going to get a shot at a kick, almost.
Right. So and that's why I wouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 3. I think at that point, because you are down. And
you want to win the game. They were only down by 2.
Yes, you are down, and if you don't pick that up, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's over. But I mean, that's gambling. I mean, you what do you got to lose at this point? You weren't expected to win this game anyways. But that way, you guarantee that you're either going to win or lose with the kick if you do get it.
I get what you're saying, but they also want to keep their playoff hopes alive. And in a game like that, where you can win it, and you're trusting your defense there, which their defense, I mean, they held Seattle to no touchdowns.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen in the NFL, it doesn't matter how good your defense plays. When all these coaches do prevent defense, it's easy for these teams, especially a team like Seattle with the weapons to move the ball down. And a 60-yard kick in Seattle weather is not the easiest kick to make.
Well, then Myers makes a 56-yarder to answer. And still left like 10, 11, 15 seconds on the clock, something like that. So
yeah.
But fun game. Phillip Rivers will start next week against the San Francisco 49ers.
Everyone thinks that Phillip Rivers looked good in that game. It was cool. It was a cool story. He really did not look good. I mean, he just dink and dunked. When he had to throw the ball downfield, it looked terrible.
He was off.
I think he looked good for the situation.
Yeah.
Which was on the couch, coaching high school football, hasn't played in the NFL in 5 years, is 44 years old, and came in and had like 2 practices with the team. I think he looked good with that perspective.
I was actually impressed with how he played. With all of that being said, 5 years, bad bod, not in game shape, going out there and competing the way he did. I was actually impressed.
Specifically, I think it says against the Seattle defense. And
I think it says more about Seattle, like defensively and offensively. I mean, the Colts defense isn't all that great, and they were out their 2 starting cornerbacks, and Seattle couldn't score a touchdown in this game. They've been fluttering the last few weeks. Is another reason why I like the Rams on Thursday. I think Seattle has issues. They couldn't run the ball in this game. I mean, you could see 271 yards, but I mean, literally they have JSN and that's it. They can't get any offensive going unless it's going to him.
Oh, you disrespect Cooper Kupp? How dare you?
He looks like an old ass tight end out there. I love Cooper Kupp, but
I love Cooper Kupp too. And then Vikings, Cowboys. JJ McCarthy gets to do a little celebrating. JJ McCarthy, who threw a pick on his first pass attempt of the game, but quickly got everything right after that. The Cowboys, no passing touchdowns for Dak Prescott in this game, by the way. But the Dallas Cowboys playoff hopes basically died. I think they have a 1% chance now or something of making the playoffs, but basically over for the Cowboys after this. The Vikings are already eliminated from playoff contention, so it doesn't really matter for them other than developing JJ McCarthy. But I expected both these teams to be able to score, but I expected the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. Didn't expect the Vikings to win.
Yeah, and also Brandon Aubrey, he got the yips or what? He missed 2 field goals yesterday.
You're right. Yeah. That changed the complexion of this game. You are right about that. It completely changes the complexion of this game. And if he makes those, they would have been within a score at the end, so they wouldn't have had to kick that field goal to try to get the ball back. You know what I mean? So it does change the complexion. Brandon Aubrey, who's been so fucking good for them, missed 2 for him chip shot field goals.
He still made a couple too. He went over his kicking points.
He was 4
did
for
you
6.
See that?
Yeah.
How about that trick? How about that trick play? That fake field goal to start the game.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Brandon Aubrey, 1 rush for 6 yards.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't know why I wanted. Sunday I switched my pick. I like the Vikings, but like you said, Ryan, I expected more from this Cowboys team, especially with the Vikings finding out that they were eliminated from the playoffs. Cowboys were still fighting for the division. Now they got to win out and hope that the Eagles will lose out, which isn't going to happen.
And it was really this offense's inability to score, right, with all those field goal attempts. Because if you were going to tell me the Minnesota Vikings won this game, I would have said, okay, they went off on the ground. JJ McCarthy made a couple good plays, and that's how they were able to win. But that run defense now for the Cowboys has been very solid, and it was solid yesterday. The defense shut down this running game for Minnesota, and the offense just couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. They gave up 34 points, obviously, but still, it's not like they were fucking just moving the ball. Look at the yards.
Was like the hottest thing. Yeah, I mean, George Pickens was the hottest commodity in like 4 weeks ago, and now he hasn't shown up in a couple games. He didn't get his first catch till the very end of the first half. I think he had 3 catches for like 30-something yards. They're playing man coverage, which Dak is really good at. I mean, CD had a good game, but I expected more out of Pickens in this game, and he just couldn't get open.
I mean, it's a weird game, like especially because the game, like Dallas kicked the field goal to get it within a score at the very end, right? Because it was 11 before that. So really, it wasn't even close. But you look at the yards: Dallas Cowboys 423 to 327. No turnovers for the fucking Cowboys. 1 turnover for Minnesota. It's just the game's surprising. It was a weird game.
Yeah.
But Matt Eberflus fucking sucks. Tonight, in 20 minutes, a cold day in Pittsburgh. The Steelers versus the Dolphins. I got the Steelers in this game in large part because it's really fucking cold for Tua. And he did win in like 40-degree weather against the Jets, I suppose, for the first time in his career. It's really fucking cold now. Now, TJ Watt is out. I think Jalen Warren is not going to play in this game either, but honestly, Kenneth Gainwell's looked more impressive to me in the touches that he's had recently for the Steelers, so I'm not even too concerned about Jalen Warren. And it did seem like Steelers got their offense, their pass game figured out a little bit last week, so I got the Steelers in the game.
I got the Steelers too, comfortably.
Got the Steelers. Expect a big game from Metcalf as well, because the Steelers are going to have the offense from somewhere, and usually when they win, it's when him and Rodgers are on the same page.
So we'll see what happens. And then go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say real quick, the Bill Simmons made a comment that these might be the best wildcard teams we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. And if you look at them, there's a good case, because there's quite a few wildcard teams that, like, because this year's so open, like you could see a few of these wildcard teams winning the Super Bowl. Like, obviously the Bills is one. Anyone in the NFC, you could say, could win the Super Bowl. You wouldn't be shocked.
Specifically NFC, when you look at it and the way it stands now, Seattle at 11-3, the 49ers at 10-4, the Packers at 9-4. The other ones in contention will be the Detroit Lions. So right now you've got the Lions, the Packers, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Bears, and potentially the Rams, right? Depending on how things go, could all be playoff or could all be wild card teams, potentially. Yeah. So it is pretty good.
Yeah, and then even the Texans, with the way their defense is playing, the way they've been hot, you wouldn't be surprised if they somehow got out of the NFC. I mean, it'd be a shock, but it wouldn't be, you'd be like, oh, I could see how they did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. The Chargers, man, with just the injuries they're fucking dealing with, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens down the stretch for them.
Yeah,
I don't think they can win a Super Bowl, no.
No, I don't either.
I don't think they can win a Super Bowl. Tony Morrow says Santa Barbara sucks. For 199, Josh Allen be the Rams' next quarterback. I think it's more likely Joe Burrow is the next quarterback for the Rams than Josh Allen. Rhombosaurus, member for 2 months. Thanks, Rhombosaurus. Bama Rammer, what up, crew? Got a fantastic statistic for y'all. Brandon Aubrey has more points this season than Justin Jefferson, Barkley, Genty, and Drake London. Got his autograph when he played for the Birmingham Stallions.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, kickers are, obviously fantasy gold mines, especially when you get to that 50+ range and you start getting 5 points for those or whatever it is, depending on your league. Have they added a stat for 60-yarders?
I don't know.
They probably should, because for years and years, the standard scoring for extra points has been 1. For field goals in general, it's 3. For a 40+ yard field goal, it was 4. For a 50-yard field goal, it was 5. Because we've seen so many 60-yarders, I think they should add a 6-pointer for 60-yard plus, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because I don't want to say it's commonplace, but it's not a rarity, I guess.
I'm sure it's customizable. Like the commissioner can go in and make it a thing.
You can do that for anything. The way we used to play for fantasy was we would have big play bonuses in my leagues. So
I like those.
Oh yeah, me too. So if you have a 40-yard touchdown, 40-yard touchdown pass, 40-yard touchdown run, you get an extra like 2, 3, 4 points. 50, 60-yarder, whatever you want to set the threshold at, you get an extra 5, 6 points. Those were huge game changers, especially if you had a stack, right? If you had a quarterback, wide receiver stack, those could be complete game changers. Sometimes in a terrible way. Or if you had like a 39-yard touchdown, it's fucking brutal. Angst Kitten. So does that mean the Bears will beat the Packers this time? I'm picking the Bears to beat the Packers. I'm picking the Rams.
Thursday and Saturday games.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams, and I'm picking the Eagles. Eagles Commanders on Saturday, Bears Packers on Saturday, and Rams Seahawks on Thursday. I got Rams, Bears, Eagles.
I'm going Seahawks, Eagles, Bears.
I'm going to go the same as Ryan. Rams, Eagles, Bears.
There you go. Oh, man, all 3 of us picking the Bears. I don't know if I like that.
Not helping me catch up. I know I should switch to the Packers, huh? No.
I don't know if I like that, but we'll see what happens. Saturday NFL games, baby.
That time of year.
Games. Let's fucking go. All right, guys.
Uh-oh. Is he frozen for you?
Great freeze.
Is he frozen for you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That is it.
Uh-oh.
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 The
Beardo curse.
The Beardo curse got him. Beardo curse got him. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys for showing up for Monday Evening Quarterback. You guys have a great one. Go check out the Fuck My Life podcast. Are you doing that tonight?
I am in an hour. Fuck My Life on my channel. Yeah.
There you go. You guys enjoy Monday Night Football, and we'll catch you guys on Sunday morning.